Should be live there on the screen. Just checking it out. Yeah, it looks like I'm live. If you tune into this broadcast, it will be because you saw it on Facebook. I have not given anybody a heads up. This is going to be a introduction live to the studio here. My name is Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studio. Thanks for joining me. This station or channel, YouTube, little platform is to share lots of little ideas that I have as far as video production, live streaming. I come from an audio background, had a recording studio for a number of years, and this is my fourth studio in my house, believe it or not, 2 different houses, and this is kind of a video production, live streaming studio, and I'm going to give you a little tour today. So thanks for joining me here on Facebook Live. It looks like everything's going good there on the screen next to me. You say, well, Keith, you're not centered in the screen. Well, there's a reason for that. We're going to talk about this little TV here behind me on the wall and what it means here in just a few minutes. So again, thank you for joining me. So let me give you a quick overview of where we're going in this video. I want to give you kind of a tour of my studio as far as the equipment that I'm using for video production, as well as live video production, live streaming. So I do production right here in my studio. I have a podcast. My wife has a podcast, as well as other things that we do. I do video editing, production in here. I've done voiceover, audio work is mostly voiceover in this studio, but I've done band recording before, a number of things, even music videos in the past. And I love video production. I've spent the last 15 years of my life kind of studying video and audio. In reality, probably a little bit longer than that. But I don't want to be facetious, so we'll underestimate rather than overestimate. I'm actually right now on my iPhone using the ATEM Mini. So let me change the slide here real quick. So this little slide here on the bottom on the left is kind of the studio here. To get up close and personal with that, this is the centerpiece right now. I use the ATEM Mini Pro as my production switcher here in the studio, and I can use that for live production in here. Even if I don't want to have a lower thirds on a video, I want to add all of those bells and whistles later. It just makes things go faster. I can change cameras here in the studio, and I can do lots of things. I can, and we'll talk about the different things that are on the table here. So this is part 1. I really want to just give you an introduction. This is just some of the equipment that are used here in the studio, but I think they're important for you to kind of grasp how I'm doing it. Maybe you can apply it to how you're doing it. And from there, together, we'll learn and grow during this series. It probably will be about 10 videos, so I hope you'll stay with me. Going to try to keep all of these videos as short as possible, but I want to go through some slides this morning with you and demo the studio. So let me just show you or explain to you what you're seeing right now. You can see this is the ATEM Mini program view, and I have the switcher here on my desk. You can actually see the switcher. This is a live webcam right here. It's a Logitech camera. I am using OBS. I'm not using the ATEM Mini Pro right now because I want to do a number of other things that I can do in combination with the ATEM Mini as well as OBS. Though I can stream directly from it. That's one of the things that's different between the ATEM Mini and the ATEM Mini Pro is that you can actually stream through internet right from it, where you would have to use the webcam in the ATEM Mini like I'm using it right now and use software similar to OBS. You can still use the ATEM Mini with OBS. I'm going to record this YouTube video as well on the ATEM Mini to the OBS. Right now I'm using the USB-C port. So in the ATEM Mini, you can see that I have a little SD disc sitting here. That's not plugged in right now because I'm coming out into my laptop into the ATEM Mini. And in a second, I'll show you the desk. This next slide is without graphics, and you can see some of the pieces of the puzzle here. You've got monitors, you have microphones. I have 2 microphones here in the studio that I have set up all the time, and that is my NTG shotgun microphone that I use a lot over on my production table, and then I use the SM7B here that I'm on right now in the studio. But also on the desk here, I'll give you a quick tour. Right next to the ATEM Mini Pro and the SD drive that's always there handy, I have the HyperDeck, and you'll see a little bit better that in here in a minute. And then on top of that, it's just a little toggle for my BenQ monitor. That lets me make changes and adjustments. Next to that, I have the Stream Deck. And behind that, I have the BM5 by Portkeys. It is a monitor, and I use that to have a bigger display coming from my HyperDeck Mini. And that's designed to play videos, and we're going to cover all these things in the future videos. I have the Stream Deck, which is basically a macro keyboard with a real living screen, so I can put pictures on it, and number of pages, 32 keys, and that gives me control. I can control my lights and everything right now, and we'll talk about that. Next to that, I have the centerpiece, which is my audio centerpiece, and that is the Rodecaster Pro. I absolutely love it. Got it originally to do an audio podcast for my wife. It became the centerpiece of my studio. I actually sold a number of other pieces that I had left over from my professional audio mastering studio, and I'm just now using this. So it's a great centerpiece, and we'll look at that a little closer. And then next to that, you can't see in the screen right now, as I have a little HOSA switcher, and that lets me switch audio from my ATEM Mini to my speakers in the studio. And that's pictured now down there by the ATEM Mini. And I'll show you the big slide of that here right now. So right there on the bottom, just one over from the right, next to my little icon there, the light bulb is above it is the ATEM or the Rodecaster Pro. And then next to that is the little HOSA switcher. It is a 3-station switcher. So you can have a right and left audio coming in 1/4 inch, and you can have a right and left audio going out. And then I use a 1/4 inch to stereo 1/8 inch jack to go into the back of my ATEM Mini. And you can see the 2 mic imports on the back of the ATEM Mini Pro, because I have the face of it as well as I have the back showing in this display, because that really is the video production, live streaming centerpiece to my studio. And because of that, I wanted to make a little slide and let that be the emphasis and the focus. So change slides here. So this is the mess. This is my studio, and believe it or not, my goal is to go through each and every one of these pieces of equipment in this series. So there is a look at the studio. The only piece that's not on there, which I'm going to highlight here in a minute, is the ATEM streaming bridge, which is a great little device, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I kept it separate because it's not pertinent to all the other things that I do in here with video production as well as live streaming. All of that can be done with this equipment on there. And I even have some A/B choices, like my third camera. I can go between my phone, which I'm using my phone right now for camera 3, and I am using, other times I'm using my Canon 5D Mark III. So you can see on that slide the either or. So as we go through today's slides, I want to just say this. If you have any questions or you would like to have access to these slides, I am going to have a PDF done by the end of next week. And if you reach out to me, you can reach me at klbjourney@gmail.com, and I'll put that in the notes tonight after this video posts. And I would be happy to send you the PDFs. I'm only going to do one set of slides for each live stream. So you'll have to request, this is going to be part 1, the introduction. And so you'll have to request part 1, and then I will make sure you can get a hold of the PDF. When the series is all done, they'll be together in a little syllabus that will be available for you if you subscribe to my webpage. It'll be free for you to download. The only cost is subscribing. I'd love to have you subscribe here if you haven't already. Thank you so much. And if you like this video or don't like it, go ahead and make your notes there. I'd love to hear your comments. And I don't see any comments or anything yet in the stream. So I hope you enjoy this video. So let's change slides here. So this is the ATEM streaming bridge. It is a great piece of kit. And again, as I shared this big slide with all of these items that you see here on the screen, what I didn't have on the top right next to the switch, which is an internet switch that you would use to plug a number of internet devices into. Some of you have like a modem with these jacks in the back. Some of you actually have one of these switches, maybe in your production room. So that my internet jack in this room plugs into that switch, and then I can plug, I could get as many switch locations as I can, and I can plug a number of Ethernet cables into the back of that. So the ATEM Mini Pro plugs into my switch here in the studio, and then I can plug in the streaming bridge as well here in the studio. And once I do that, the cool thing about that is I can stream in my house from any internet port. So I could use a wall jack port. I could plug into my switch that I have in my living room. And once I plug into that, and I go into my ATEM Mini Pro and choose the HyperDeck or the streaming bridge, it will display anywhere in the house. And so I'm going to show you right now when I go live in the software here, and we'll break this software down in the future. So I am going to just simply hit live here in the Blackmagic Design software that works with the ATEM Mini Pro through my laptop, through the internet here, my network here to the ATEM Mini Pro. And if I choose that I want to stream to the ATEM streaming bridge, which is this device that you see right here next to me, it's that centerpiece, and I hit on air. That's why I'm not using my ATEM Mini Pro to stream from today, because I wanted to demo the streaming bridge. So I turn this on, and you'll have a 1 second delay, but you can see what happens on the TV. And so you can see the delay by just me simply doing that. But the cool thing about that streaming bridge, and you see the infinity view here, is that let's say you wanted to stream to a studio or another business, or maybe you have a number of businesses and you want to do some live training. You could put a streaming bridge in one location and you could put your studio in another location. Instead of doing my inside my house studio, you can break through your firewall if you have one, and then go to someone else's location. You can, or the other store location, even a TV studio. If I took my ATEM streaming bridge down to a local TV studio and we set it up, and I put in the information in it and the information in my ATEM Mini Pro software here, the same thing I just did, as soon as I go on the air, they would have a live stream signal from me right here from my studio. And to me, that is amazing. So again, this is kind of the nutshell of my studio. You have the streaming bridge, which we're not going to focus on until the last week, but you can see all of these tools. And you can see that I have a subwoofer in my studio. You can see how I use the switch for switching between the ATEM Mini Pro from the sound coming through my microphones into my Rodecaster Pro. That goes then out to my subwoofer. That then goes, the crossover then goes back to the little HOSA switch. And then from the switch, I go to my JBL speakers, and those are studios. One of the few things that I still have besides microphones from my recording studio, those were my mixing monitors that I used in my studio, and they sound amazing. So here's a bigger picture. So you can see the subwoofer there. You can see the JBL speakers there on the bottom left. And then you can see all the other things I do. That's a picture I took a couple nights ago on my monitors. I have a regular video monitor that I use on the desk, and I'm going to show you that here in a second before we leave today. And then I have a monitor for my in-studio guests to be able to see the program screen as well. I can also sit at the table and be able to see the bigger monitor. It is a 27-inch TV. I can also turn the audio on as well, and you can see a demo of that here shortly. So now this left screen right here is my live, right? So you can see it behind me. So if I was to switch right now to this screen right here, this is live from OBS, and that's the slideshow. And this is live from my ATEM Mini program view, you can see right here. So if I was to switch to my video, watch what happens. There's no audio in this video, so watch this. My HyperDeck Mini will play the video that I have queued up and ready to go. So there you have my video, and then I can switch right back to channel 4, which is my iPhone camera. I also have a channel 1, which, sorry about that. Let's do that one more time. Let me play that video. I apologize for not having the display on here. So here's that video playing in the program. And again, that's from my HyperDeck Mini. And you can see my finger here. I'm using the auto switch, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then I can change back to the camera I'm on right in the back of me. So I can turn around and go to this camera, bring up my lights by using my Stream Deck. And there you go. You have the infinity shot, and you have me in the program view. And so I can simply switch around like that when I want to, lower the lights for this particular angle, and switch the camera back to channel 4, sorry. And there you have, I'm back on the microphone, reach over here, turn the ATEM streaming bridge off, the TV goes off, and I have access to all those things here in the studio. Now, the last thing I wanted to do here is give you a quick tour of the studio. So I am going to switch cameras here real quick. We'll start like this. Let's turn this camera names off, and let's turn this slide off. So here's my desk, and so I'll just start right here. You have, this is a Thunderbolt docking station, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I have a Thunderbolt port in my laptop, and so I use this. Again, here's the HOSA switch. So right now I'm on channel 3, which is hooked into my ATEM Mini. If I turn over to channel 1, then the speakers in the studio will come up, and I'll demo that later. Then I have the centerpiece for audio, and let's turn these lights down just a little bit so you have a better view of the desk. My picture won't be as cool, but so again, you can see I have the main channel coming in from my laptop up. That's the USB channel, and then I am using channel 1. And then I also have channel 2 hooked up to my shotgun microphone. Push the mute button. And now I have this overhead shotgun microphone, which I have right above the screen. So the tip of it's literally right there. And now I can talk more on this side of my desk and push this out of the way so it's not in the way of the different cameras. I can also switch to camera 2 here. And that's this shot down at my desk. And it's a higher quality shot. I can take that to full screen here. And now you can see a better view. That's my EOS R shot right here. And and there's full screen of it. And you can see again, here is the ATEM Mini Pro. And I have channel 1 lit up, and that audio is coming from the HOSA little deck over here. You can't see from that angle. You can only see it from camera 4 angle. So I will cut back to that camera. Sorry, that's crazy. Got back to camera 2. Not sure what's going on with that iPhone camera. So again, you can see on my desk that you have a channel for audio music, so I can play my music right now and you can hear it. Put my headphones on here so I can hear with you. So I can raise the volume up and lower the volume as needed, so I could play my own intro music from this board. Turn that off. All of these can be programmed. I can record on them, which is amazing. And then you have channel 1 and channel 2, which I use. And when I do a live podcast, I could do 4. And if I wanted to, I can buy an adapter and use the phone input as well. And I have Bluetooth for phones, as well as I have Bluetooth or an 1/8 inch jack for phones. And one of the companies makes an adapter for that, which is really, really amazing. And that adapter comes in really handy. So back to this full screen view. The amazing thing about the Rodecaster Pro and the ATEM Mini and all of that integrated is that there's just a lot of things that you can do with it that will help you in your studio if you're going to do live events, or if you're going to do podcasting. And that's why we want to cover those as we go through our slides here today. And we'll get back to those here right now. So let me switch cameras here. So now you have me here in the bottom, and I apologize for the little overlap there. I will have to fix that problem, but I wanted you to, let's see, I think that's, so that's this little graph right here. Let me turn it off. There we go. Sorry about that. So this is the back of the face of the ATEM Mini Pro, and I just wanted to cover a couple things here real quickly, so you can see that right here on the back of the ATEM Mini Pro. Those are your 4 audio or video inputs. Next to those, closest to me, are the audio inputs, and then it has an HDMI out as well, USB-C port, which is the webcam USB-C port I'm using right now to go through OBS. And then you see the Ethernet port. Next to that is the power input. And then on the face, you have those 4 channels, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they coincide with the 4 inputs. So if I was to switch to port number 3, 3 would be now red, and I was using channel 4, 4 would be green, and I hit the auto switch, and it goes back to channel 4 right now, which is what we're using, which is my iPhone camera. Then I have channel 1 I can switch to. So that's the camera that I have to turn around for. Camera 2 is a shot of my desk, so you can see down on my desk. So now the way I'm set up through OBS, I can demo what's green, this is green, this is red. These channels are not being used yet, but if I was to push channel 3, it's now green. Channel 2 is on the air. And if I wanted to bring me back up, I could hit channel 4 and cut. And then whenever I'm ready to show channel 3, I can do a dissolve to channel 3, which is again my video. And now you see my video playing in the live broadcast. So back to channel 2. And then obviously these are the different buttons that the ATEM Mini Pro has on it. And then these are the two switches right here. One is cut, which will do a direct cut. And there is no dissolve. And the auto button is a dissolve button. And again, we'll break all these down. And then the software you can see up on the right. And I'm going to get down while we're in this view. I'll pull down my camera from the mount and we'll use it as a live camera. And now I'm going to cut to camera 4. And there's the software. So you can see right now on the software that channel 4 is up here and that is live. So these buttons on the top of the software are live. These buttons on the bottom are program preview. So you've got program and preview. And then if you look at my monitors back here, I'll give you the big view of my big monitor. This is the program view right now that you're seeing. And this is the preview. So if I cut, that's going to go over there. And this is going to go over there. So let's cut. Show you pushing the button. And I'll push it again. Now I'm going to show you the screen as I use the software control. So now I'm going to go up here. I'm going to put my mouse over the auto button right here. Hope you can see that. Let me make sure this is in focus. So here's my mouse over the auto button. And now I can turn the camera on that screen and I'm going to hit the auto button. Try to give you a good view here. There you go. So I can cut to camera 3 by using the software, direct cut. I can cut to camera 4, direct cut. There is the camera again. And you can see it in the smaller screen. And so that's kind of how to use the software here in the studio. So again, camera 4, cutting to it. And now camera 4 is showing different items in my studio. So there's the Stream Deck. And because I have the ATEM Mini Pro and I have the Stream Deck and I have the Hyper Deck, you can see a picture of this. Let me see if I can bring the light down here a little bit. And so if I was to hit play on this Hyper Deck, it will play my video that I have queued up. And I can back the video up, get it ready to go again. And it's set to autoplay. If I hit channel 3, you're going to watch the show go live in the bottom right-hand screen. And there you go. Back to camera 4. Back to the desk camera. And now you can see me holding my phone here. And I have my iPhone using this adapter right here. You can see. Let's get it over here in front of the camera. Let me get some slack. So this is my iPhone. I'm using Filmic Pro, which is a downloadable app. And here is the adapter with the HDMI plug into. And then this is a power cord, so I'm powering my phone. Oops. And so I can put my phone back up on the mount and use it again as a webcam. It's just way nicer than my laptop webcam. That's why I'm using it. Then we can cut to it. And there I am again. So that's the ATEM Mini Pro. This next slide shows my Rodecaster Pro and how it is plugged into my studio, and we'll talk more about that in the next video. But you can see that slide. And then here is the HyperDeck. And again, that HyperDeck has HDMI out as well as 2 SDI outs. And it's a great little tool in the studio. And we're going to talk more about that as well. So again, there are lots of things in the studio, and I really wanted to share those with you. So I hope you're enjoying this so far, because I really want to try to help other people out that are streaming out there. And hopefully you will tune into this channel and you will maybe learn some things, maybe ask some questions. It will be fun to share these times with each other. And hopefully we will have some days and some events that will help you as we go around the studio and share different things, audio tools that I use, video tools I use. Again, all of these items that you see here on the screen are things that we are going to cover and break them down, show how they're wired here in the studio, show how I use them, demo the microphones, and it should be fun. So going back to the SM7B, and I like this microphone the best because it has really good audio, does a really good job. Lots of people on the radio use this microphone, and this is plugged into channel 1 of my Rodecaster, and we're going to talk a little bit more about audio as we go forward. So again, my name is Keith. Thanks for tuning in to this live stream. Hopefully the studio tour, what I've showed you so far, has been enlightening to you, and you got a chance to see some of these tools at work. And we will continue to be using OBS, and we'll actually do a live stream from the ATEM Mini Pro. It's going to be fun. And hopefully before the end of the broadcast, we even get to show you the ATEM Mini streaming bridge, or the ATEM streaming bridge in another house, playing my live stream, which will be really fun. And we'll use a mobile camera to do that. That should be exciting. So thanks for tuning in. I am Keith. We'll see you here hopefully in the next stream in a location near you. I'll catch you next time.